I was recording, right, and then some fucking big, massive, prehistoric looking mutant fucking spider with wings just came in my room, and now I don't know where the fuck it's gone, so if it comes in my bed in my sleep, I think I'm just gonna commit suicide. Also, someone tell me why in thy fucketh am I getting an hour-long ad when watching a YouTube video? And what the fuck is the game test? Like I need that. I already know I liked it. I never realized how much gameplay is out there for Frontiers, and the new song is absolute shit. It fucking bangs! We've seen many mini-bosses, a lot of cyberspace levels, and to be honest, it kind of looks like Color's level design. Does that bother me? I mean, the fucking open world still looks fun as shit, so... I mean, I'm still excited for them, but I guarantee I won't enjoy them as much as the open world. But then, when watching some shit-quality potato camera-recorded demo gameplay, the thing that caught my eye the most was finally seeing someone use the drop dash for one, and one of the first bosses, which doesn't seem like an actual boss fight, more just like a cutscene with a small playable section in it. But Jesus, look at this lanky fucker. It looks wicked. Also, loving the cutscene. It's shit quality, but it's definitely not an in-game engine cutscene, but not exactly a CG one either. I know it's got ass quality, but I think even with that, I can tell that it's one of them in between, similar to what Sonic 06 had, where it wasn't fully CG, but it kind of was, but it still used the in-game character models and stuff like that. So yeah, seems like we're gonna end up getting 3 different types of cutscenes again. This gets me on my fucking hype shit. This video I wanted to mainly talk about bosses though, because this game should be taking things to another level with the bosses. I mean, this shit is one of the most intimidating bosses in gaming I've ever seen. But you know what, it definitely does not have shit on the scariest boss in gaming history, which comes from Ben 10, Protector of Earth. This thing was my nightmares, but you know what? Now I'm older. It really ain't that bad. And oh shit! I'm sorry! Bosses in Sonic games are honestly hit or miss. In Adventure 1, they last shorter than I do in bed with your nan. Alright, Knuckles, bring it, pussy! Unleash Generations, and fuck it, even Secret Rings, all that great bosses. I was gonna say Black Knight, and then I remember Lancelot Returns. I still, to this day, have never beaten that bitch. I don't think I ever will. The Hedgehog bosses were great fun, had a challenge, and all had really satisfying quick time events, something that I love in a good boss fight. Punch him in the dick! Punch him in the dick! The day bosses just felt like the day stages, which makes them great already. The Generation ones were all just fantastic. I like the race with Shadow. I like the one with Perfect Chaos. This death that can go kill itself. Alright, time to batter the shit out of Metal Sonic for the billionth time. And yeah, I enjoy the bosses in Secret Rings, except this fat piece of shit, he can also go die. But if I'm being honest, all these had final bosses that weren't even that good. Unleashed is a giant quick time event. Generations controls are as frustrating as trying to explain why Vanguard's multiplayer isn't actually that bad, because you know what, lads, it's just not that fucking bad. And Secret Rings just feels too much like a workout where you're just jerking the Wii remote the whole time. I don't care if my fat ass needs to get fit, I'd rather die. But then the 2010s meta slash ass fuck of mediocre to wank Sonic games just didn't really have any bosses that were interesting or memorable or anything like that. And some just relying on 10,000 homing attacks and more to finish the job. Sonic Colors reused its own bosses. Lost World still never played that, and Forces were just too fucking easy. The only boss in Forces I liked was the first Infinite one. Thing is, you always gotta love when a Sonic game is capped off with a supersonic final battle, even if it's just for the spec. I know I said the Unleashed one was just a shit giant quick time event, but it doesn't change the fact that the ending of that game is still fucking amazing, because it just feels like that Sonic team went all out with that finale. I never minded in Colors the final boss, and I didn't mind it was just a regular fight, because the game felt kind of like a side game with how short it was, and how much padding the game had, and how it just didn't really feel like it had a real gimmick. But Sonic Team clearly thought the final boss of Sonic Colors was a fucking masterpiece, and decided to reuse it 2 more times. Lost World and Forces. One big thing about Frontiers is the return of the Chaos Emerald, and I've heard, and hope this is true, there is multiple supersonic boss fights with the lanky titans. So that could mean the final boss might actually be a new form for Sonic. And because there's this image of him doing the same poses as the storybook games, you know, the 2 games that had 2 brand new supersonic forms, that could also potentially hint at the fact that there could be a new form for Sonic at the end of this. And with the new combat system for Frontiers, there's no way these bosses should be boring. The mini bosses already require more than just homing attacks, so I'm expecting a lot from a supersonic titan fight. I know this clip is just homing attacking a lot of times, but as I said, I don't think this is an actual boss fight. I think this is just part of a cutscene for the story, and you know what, better to have some engagement for a scene like this instead of just watching a short fight scene. I'm really hoping for some boss-ass quick-time events in these boss fights, because Sonic and Lynch have them perfectly, and I just think they belong in this game for the big bad boy boss. And I think it goes without saying, we are finally beyond having the Sonic Colors final boss as the final boss. But if they somehow do it this time round, then they are taking the piss. Nah, but seriously, with how this game looks to play, I don't seem it possible to have a reskin of the Nega Wisp armor. It annoys me they had to call that thing the Nega Wisp armor, because if I say it too fast, it just sounds like I'm saying the N-word. Unless they did that on purpose so they could have their own way of saying it in a Sonic game. So clearly Sonic Team in 2010 were fucking racist. Okay, but that's it for this video. There's been so much gameplay for Frontiers. Like, there's way more than I ever actually realized. But I haven't really been wanting to look into it or watch out for it, because I know for a fact it will piss me off. I want to play this game so badly, alright? 2 months away, but I really want to fucking play it now. And while the rest of the world is busy reacting to the music, which, let's be honest, if you thought this game's music would be bad, you don't know this franchise. I've been here with my thumb up my arse, trying not to reiterate points that have been made a billion times, like, oh my goodness, the cyberspace levels are reusing assets from old games. They are trash! Touch some grass, man. It's not the meat of the game, alright? This big penis looking thing is. And also the ability to draw dicks with the side loop. Or at least that's what I'm hoping, alright? Because it doesn't actually seem like there's a limit to the side loop. And it seems like its main thing is drawing circles or shapes. So there is no way you will not be able to draw dicks around your enemies and use that to kill them. This is going to be the best game in the world! But that's all for now. Leave a like, subscribe. I love you all. We have fun here. Follow my Twitch, link in the description. Cheers, lads, and until next time, have a good one.